In the Real Estate Edge today, home builder confidence is hitting the highest level in 18 years. The index popped up 5 points to 74 compared to 69 last December. It's believed builders now see more positives than negatives in the proposed tax bill making its way on Capitol Hill. Retailers are not the only ones offering deals during December. People looking for a home for the holidays might be able to negotiate a lower price. In the top 3 selling markets of Chicago, Virginia Beach, and Philadelphia, CNBC reports that home prices are falling. It's not unusual for home prices to tumble in the winter months. We are turning to Greg Jaeger, real estate industry expert with USAA and a former real estate agent, for his pro tips. Thank you, Greg, for coming on the show.
Happy to be here. Thanks for having me, Angie.
Isn't it true that inventory is tight right now?
So, I think that inventory is really tight, and I don't see it loosening. I think that we've got a lot of pent-up demand that still exists, post-recession, and I think that really affects the inventory scene.
What is your outlook on rising home prices?
So, I think that as a trend, that's true. One of the things that, I'm sure we'll get into, but, that I believe is in the wintertime, there is some relief from that, general price appreciation that happens largely as a result of supply and demand, because there is less demand in the winter.
What expert tips can you offer home buyers?
I think one of those for buyers is that the price points do tend to soften a little bit. NerdWallet has got some great research that they've done on that indicates that it can be as much as an 8.5% softening.
Why is winter the best time to buy a home?
Sure. I think that I said that from the buyer's perspective a second ago. You might assume that that's bad news for a seller if price points are lower, but I think that turn times can be fast, as well as there's a nuance to who those buyers are. Most buyers, tend to be out there in the spring and summer, and I think that the people who are out there in the fall and winter tend to be out there for a specific reason. It's a job change, it's divorce, it's something that, for my company, maybe it's military going through permanent change of station, out of season or out of cycle, but there's some specific motivation that makes these buyers tend to be really, really serious buyers, which can be great news for a seller.
Greg, what trends are you seeing in real estate as we watch the changes in the U.S. tax system possibly coming to fruition?
Well, one of the things that is really a watch for, I think, as we go forward, is what's going on with the income tax reform. There are several aspects of that I think can have real bearing on real estate, and frankly, there's some speculation about what that might do also to the price points, since you kind of started there with the appreciation aspect.
What do you anticipate?
Yeah, so both versions, that obviously are in reconciliation now, but the proposals from the House as well as the proposals from the Senate at the national level have components that affect real estate. One of those looks like it's going to impact deductibility of interest. So already, people who are in that million plus, which isn't most buyers, are subject to some interest deduction limitations. One proposal would bring that down to loans that are $500,000 and above. So again, that probably has a limited impact as to who that affects, but one that would probably affect more is the property tax issue. So there's one proposal would limit property tax deductibility on your federal income tax return completely. The other version proposes a cap at $10,000. So both of that, the interest deduction and the property tax deduction are going to be subject to how those get reconciled, but I think both of those are going to be in play in the final form of the income tax reform.
Thank you again for your insights. We hope to have you back.
Thank you very much for having me.